This is Ryan and Michelle, and welcome to the Celebrate MarriageCast 5-Minute Friday.
Happy Friday. Hey, so glad that you're here. Happy Friday, Ryan.
Happy Friday.
Woo-hoo. We love Fridays, and we love that this upcoming weekend, we get to see our church family. We want to say, hey, if you don't have a church home, we would love to have you at Celebrate at Church. Join us online. If you're in the Sioux Falls, South Dakota area, join us in person. We have joining us for 5-Minute Friday our special guest from Tuesday, Tony Bohr, a licensed professional counselor. Welcome back to our show,
right,
Tony.
Thanks. Here we go.
Welcome, Tony.
We talked about the top 5 issues. We got over halfway through the top 5 issues that you see in your professional practice. We got through issues. We counted down 5, 4, 3, and we have a little challenge for you. You, our listener, this weekend as we get ready for next week's show where we're going to wrap up the top 2 issues that you see. You want to tell them about it, Tony?
Absolutely. At the end of the episode, we talked about, can you guys guess what the number 2 and the number 1 thing that I hear in therapy about counseling and what that would be? So talk with your spouse and figure out, have some guesses, figure out what that would be. And the little twist is, if I made you come into counseling, and you and your spouse had to come in, and I said, all right, you need to come in with a problem, what would that problem be? And then, if you really want to have fun, write it down and see if your answers match.
Oh.
Right? Because if you just go, like, well, I think we need to talk about money. No, I think we need to talk about, money sounds good. Well, the other person is just keeping that, trying to avoid an argument. Write it down and see. Right?
Yeah.
What would that be? And it doesn't mean you guys have a therapy-worthy problem. It's just, I want you guys to talk about what's going on in your marriage. Where are you having some challenges? What's kind of tricky? What would you talk about? If you had a free resource, what would you talk about? What would you say? What would that look like?
Yeah. I think that's so good because I think a couple of things happen. 1, it brings it to light. And 2, it starts a conversation.
Yes.
Which usually is where it needs to start.
Do you think your guys' answer would match?
I feel like I was going to say, we could do like 3, 2, 1 and say it.
Okay.
Of what we would go for?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, hang on. Do you guys each have one?
I do.
Okay.
All
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Communication.
All right.
And
I knew she was going to say that.
Just because
Cheater.
we're different. Yeah. Did you copy my answer?
Yeah.
Are you mind reading?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
It's just because we're wired so different that it's not like it's awful. It's just when we have to work on something, that's like, I feel like we work the hardest at communication.
Agreed.
Right.
Yeah.
So framing that in a positive light is, you both have communication. You both want to learn how to do that. That's the whole point of talking and communication, or even going to therapy, since that's the kind of the theme of what we've been talking about is, hey, if you guys go to counseling and you both learn how to communicate quicker, faster, more efficient, and you feel like you've been heard, that's powerful. That's good. That doesn't mean your marriage is doomed or anything's in trouble. And so I just want you to talk about problems and have that perspective. So why'd you guys go to marriage counseling? Oh, so we can learn how to communicate quicker and faster, so we can make sure we're being heard and understood. There's no stigma there. There's no danger there.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And so, talk about those things and figure out, what are your guys' things you want to work on.
Yeah, and this should come from a safe space too, not to cause any arguments, but just to know where you're at and know you're on the same team. You want to improve in those areas. So, all right, Tony, do you want to summarize their assignment or challenge for the weekend?
Homework. Talk to your spouse about, what do you think in general, 2 top things why couples come to counseling, and then spend a little time with your spouse. What would you bring to counseling if you had to go in? And match that up and see where you guys are at.
Thank you for being here today, Tony.
Right. Have a great Friday.
Yeah, and you know that you can find us at celebrate.church/marriage or celebrate.church to join us for services this weekend, and to join us next Tuesday as Tony talks about the top 2 issues that he sees couples for and how it might spark a conversation for your marriage. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.